Hey guys, White Fox 1225 here, and the day has finally come. After years of waiting, Kingdom Come Deliverance is out today, and I was lucky enough to play quite a bit of it. Now the question is, does it live up to the hype after all that time? And I'm going to try to answer that question in today's video. Real quick, if you're not familiar with the game, it is an open world RPG set in modern day Czech Republic. You take the role of Henry, the son of a blacksmith whose parents are murdered, and then he begins his violent quest for revenge. The first few hours are surprisingly linear. If you guys know anything about this game, it's supposed to be really open, but the first 4 hours really do kind of lock you in a linear progression. There's lots of cutscenes, dialogue, and tutorials, but around the 4th hour the game really opens up the world to you and becomes that open world RPG you expect it to be. Now, and that's where Kingdom Come truly shines. It doesn't hold your hand like a lot of other RPGs tend to do nowadays. It really puts choice back in the player's hands, going back to days like Morrowind and RPGs like that. The game is going to tell you what has to be done, but not how to do it. That is up to the player, and what I've experienced is pretty much any quest has multiple ways to figure out a solution to the problem. A perfect example is I was talking to some of my friends about the very first quest in the game, and we all ended up doing it completely differently, and it was honestly pretty exciting to feel like you found your own solution rather than just following a list of steps given to you by some NPC. Let's talk about the story. So the main story is there along with a bunch of side quests. The main quest so far is really entertaining. Henry is a really likable main character, and the script is well written. Most of the cutscenes are well done, but sometimes they do drop in quality and can be awkward. In general, they range from good to iffy. Just don't go in expecting anything like The Witcher 3, and that's really one of my biggest complaints with the game, is that the dialogue can feel kind of awkward sometimes and the animations really aren't the best. Now, they're not terrible, just not great, and it doesn't take away too much from the game, but just don't go in expecting Witcher 3-esque acting because you're going to be disappointed. The best way I can describe the gameplay is just simply unique. I've never played an RPG with this much attention to realism in every aspect. The swordplay is great. It's a refreshing change from, let's say, Skyrim, where you just hit one button over and over again and you just keep slashing and hacking. You can attack from different directions, you can slash, you can stab, you can kick, you can chain attacks together, and the depth and pure amount of possibilities really kept me on the edge of my seat the whole time. The combat is very deadly too. It's almost impossible to take on more than one person, especially at low levels. And you know, I like that. You can't just run into battle. Henry can't run into a bandit camp and kill 50 people and loot their corpses and just walk out of there fine. It just doesn't work like that. You're gonna have to really think about combat and pick your fights wisely. The crime system is also really unique and refreshing. The pickpocketing and lockpicking minigames work great and change things up. The stealth works great and is really deep too. There's really not anything to complain about in terms of gameplay. Is the gameplay gonna appeal to everyone? No, but if you're really into role-playing and realism, it's gonna be absolutely perfect for you, and I think it's what a lot of us have been waiting for. Now, graphically, the game is absolutely breathtaking. The environments in this game are probably the best I've ever seen. The woods and the forest look incredibly lifelike. It's almost hard to believe it's a video game sometimes. The handcrafted detail, the bright, medieval, Oblivion-like style, and a really fantastic soundtrack makes a game world that's truly a pleasure to explore. I still don't have a horse even, and I don't mind walking around because the map is just that enjoyable. And the only issue I've had is that some textures kind of pop in and out and take a little bit longer than I would have liked to load, but I'm sure that'll be addressed in time. Performance-wise, I was getting a solid 60 frames per second on max settings. The majority of the time, it never dropped below 30, and that's just amazing for launch day. I was really surprised by that. So now it's sort of time to address the elephant in the room, if you will. You guys might have heard the game can be very buggy. Personally, I can't talk too much about that because in the 7 hours, maybe a little bit more that I played, I only encountered a few bugs, and none of them were too big of a deal at all. Now that's just me. Some people are saying they're having more bugs, but keep in mind, they did roll up a day 1 patch that seemed to fix a lot of those. So I can't say much about the bugs other than that if you remember when Skyrim launched or even The Witcher launched, you'll know it's not uncommon for a game of this scale and this ambition to have some bugs, and I'm sure in some time Warhorse will squash all those bugs and the game will run a lot better. That being said, the game can definitely feel janky and unsteady at times, and it's hard to exactly pinpoint why. Things like horse riding controls are a little off, There's some awkward animations, and sometimes it just feels unpolished, like the game could have used 3 more months in development or something like that. Again, that's not unheard of for an RPG this size, but it is worth mentioning the game could use a little bit more polish. At the end of the day, would I recommend this game? If you're into role-playing games, yes, I would 100% recommend you pick this up. It fixes so many of the complaints from the hardcore role-playing community over the last few years, and if you feel like RPGs have become watered down and are catered towards the mainstream, this is no doubt a game that you've been waiting for, and it's well worth the 60 bucks. However, if you were kind of on the fence, or didn't really know if you wanted to pick the game up coming to this video, and haven't played too many RPGs, not like a huge fan of the genre, I would say hold off a month and let Warhorse squash some of those bugs, add a little bit of polish, and just smooth things out a little bit so you enjoy the experience a little more. But then I would say it is definitely worth picking up. I could see this becoming a staple of the genre for hardcore fans, and I just can't wait to get back in and keep adventuring a game, and really what more could you ask for from an RPG than that feeling? So that's pretty much all I have for today. You can expect lots more Kingdom Come content coming to the channel real soon. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see that. If you liked the video, make sure you drop it a like. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.